Welcome back. Healthcare is expensive at any age, but especially it takes a toll on the wallet when you're caring for aging family members. Attorney at law Scott Stewart is with us this morning to talk about some of the mistakes that older people need to avoid to maximize every dollar they have when it comes to health care. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're also holding a workshop today that we're going to tell people about. That's very important. But let's begin with talking about how many people don't plan for getting older and the inevitability of becoming ill.
Yeah, it's quite a problem. AARP a few years ago did a survey and found that only 6% of seniors have actually planned for long-term care expenses. Long-term care expenses being caregivers coming into the home to help folks, or assisted living facilities, or skilled nursing facilities, or some other type of situation where you need someone helping you.
So what happens to the 70+ other % of Americans who don't plan?
They wind up paying for it themselves, and it proves to be quite expensive, and they wind up selling everything, oftentimes unnecessary, trying to make that happen.
What are the biggest mistakes that people tend to make when it comes to planning for long-term care? And what is long-term care? How would you define that?
Long-term care is anybody who needs help. So typically, a great example of long-term care would be someone like Ronald Reagan. You know, he wound up utilizing long-term care for a period of 10 years because he had Alzheimer's disease. Long-term care used to be a euphemism for nursing home care, but I use it as a much broader definition, because it encompasses anytime someone comes in to help you, whether it's your child or your spouse because you have problems around the house, or you just can't count your pills or make a meal anymore, and you just need help, and that's really what the problem is.
Well, in this day and age when people can't even afford their mortgages, I mean, how can you possibly save? How can you possibly plan? That's what a lot of people at home are probably thinking, and you're here to tell us what?
Well, I'm here to tell you that you've got options, and unfortunately a lot of people opt out of a lot of the options because they aren't aware that they're even available to them. So in my mind, it's very important that people be aware of their choices, and that they can make choices in advance. One of the worst things I see is people who all of a sudden have a problem and now are trying to run out and get insurance, or now trying to run out and solve this problem, and it's at that point almost too late. Your options have become severely limited.
What about for people who are already in some sort of a nursing home or a facility? Is it ever too late to plan or to change course?
Surprisingly, no. You can actually come in and save a considerable amount of resources, so you can support your spouse, or can have supplemental resources to help yourself, or help your children. It's still an option, and unfortunately, a lot of it's happening the other way. The kids are actually trying to support their parents in lieu of paying for their own retirement and investing properly.
The sandwich generation, they're putting kids through college, they're dealing with themselves, and they've got their parents to help out as well as they age. Tell us about the workshop that's going on today.
Workshop's off of Ruffin Road. It's the Southern Caregivers Resource Center, and it's a caregiver meeting, and we're going to be talking about long-term care planning and the issues associated with long-term care, and we're going to be going through all of the mistakes and how to avoid them.
It's at 11 o'clock this morning. Is it free?
It is free. I've been asked to have people give us a call to confirm who can be there, so we make sure we get enough space for them. And if we get overbooked, they've said that we can do the program twice. Normally there's only one caregiver meeting in the morning, but if there's too many people coming, they'll do it twice.
What about some advice for people who are watching right now? What do you tell people? When do you start planning, and what happens if you're in a triage mode and you're in a crisis and you need to help right away? What do you do?
Well, I think the first thing you need to do is take a deep breath and realize you have options, and then go out and talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, talk to an elder law attorney. Talk to people who've been down this road before. Utilize the resources that are available for you, whether it's support groups, Southern Caregivers Resource Association, or Alzheimer's, one that's specific to your ailment. A lot of those folks have a lot of good experience, and they want to help you. There are a lot of people out there that can give you a lot of advice and guidance so that you won't make the mistakes that that are oftentimes made.
It's been called a crisis here in California. Is it worse than ever? Are things getting better? Are we addressing some of the issues that are holding us back from dealing with older people and their health issues?
You know, I actually think it's the opposite. I think the crisis is getting worse. I don't think we're really focusing on it yet. The bulge hasn't gone through yet. That baby boom hasn't passed through that yet. And unfortunately, 50% of seniors are going to wind up utilizing long-term care. And it is unbelievable when you consider that such a small percentage have actually thought about it.
Right.
And it's a real shame.
Better to plan now. Be ready. Again, the workshop is free. It's at 11 o'clock this morning. And for more information, you can go to KUSI.com. Scott Stewart, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Good
Thanks
luck.
for having me.
Thank you very much.